Chapter 3. Heat and its effects. You will learn heat, temperature scales, temperature, thermometer. Quick review. How do we know whether the object is cold or hot? How do we find out how hot or cold an object is? In the previous class, you read about wearing cotton clothes in summers and woolen clothes in winter. This is because cotton clothes keep you cool, while woolen clothes help you maintain warmth. This coolness or warmth is because of the heat. In the current chapter, we will learn about the heat and its effect. Imagine our world without heat. Without the sun's heat, the earth would become barren. Earth would have no life if there was no heat. Heat is a form of energy. A substance becomes hot due to heat. We cannot see the heat, but we can feel the heat, often by touching objects. The component responsible for the sensation of hotness and coldness is called heat. Heat. Rub your palms against each other. What do you feel? You will find that your palms become warm. This is because heat is produced. Heat is a form of energy. While rubbing, the heat gets transferred from your body to your hands and you will feel warm. Energy can be converted from one form to another. Heat energy can be converted into mechanical energy and other forms of energy. Give the lists of few things that you observe are hot and cold. By touching the object, we can decide which object is hotter or colder than other. Temperature. Temperature is a degree of hotness or coldness of a body or a place. Temperature gives you an accurate measure of the hotness or coldness of a body or place. When heat is given to a substance, its temperature increases and it becomes hotter. And when heat is removed from a substance, then its temperature decreases and it becomes cold. Measuring temperature. Temperature can be measured using a thermometer. A thermometer, Greek thermo, means warm, and meter, to measure, is a device to measure temperature by using materials that change in some way when they are heated or cooled. Wonder why. Have you ever wondered why a patient who has fever, when he holds the thermometer in his mouth, the mercury in the glass tube inside the thermometer expands and shows a higher degree in the marked units? This is because mercury is the only liquid metal which is highly sensitive to heat. Even with little amount of heat, it expands. Hence, it is ideally used for thermometers. What is the effect of heat on substances? The following table tells you what happens to an object which is heated. When object is heated, object becomes hotter. Effect of heat. Rise in temperature. Volume of object increases. Expansion. Steam or vapor is given out. Change of state. Germs and bacteria are killed. Chemical and biological changes. How does a thermometer work? Thermometer works on the principle that heat energy causes expansion. Most of the objects expand on heating and occupy more volume. This expansion, which is caused due to heat, is called thermal expansion. Liquid thermometers have either mercury or alcohol that is enclosed in a small glass tube. As the temperature rises, the liquid expands and fills up more of the tube. When the temperature drops, the liquid contracts and takes its original position in the tube. The thermometer has a calibrated scale on the outer side of the glass tube. You can measure the accurate temperature by reading the lines on the scale. Temperature scales. How is temperature measured by a thermometer? There are different scales and standards for measuring temperature. These include Celsius, Fahrenheit, and Kelvin. Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit is a measure of temperature that is denoted by F. This scale was developed by Gabriel Daniel Fahrenheit in 1714. The Fahrenheit scale is used in the USA but not in other countries. The degrees in Fahrenheit are smaller than those in Celsius, making weather-related temperatures more easily written without having to use a decimal point. Water freezes at 32 degrees Fahrenheit and boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Celsius. Celsius, also called centigrade, is a measure of temperature that is denoted by C. Water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius and boils at 100 degrees Celsius. This scale was developed by Anders Celsius in 1742 and is more commonly used. Kelvin. Kelvin is a measure of temperature that is denoted by K. This scale was invented by Lord Kelvin. This scale is used for a wide range of temperature. Temperature, Fahrenheit, Celsius, Kelvin. Water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit, 100 degrees Celsius and 373 Kelvin. Water freezes at 32 degrees Fahrenheit, 0 degrees Celsius, 273 Kelvin. Normal human body temperature is 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit, 37 degrees Celsius and 310 Kelvin. Room temperature 68 degrees Fahrenheit, 20 degrees Celsius, 293 Kelvin. Absolute zero, the lowest temperature possible when molecules have the lowest possible energy, minus 459.69 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 273.16 degrees Celsius, 0 K or 0 Kelvin. Conversion scales. The formulas for the interconversion between the scales are Fahrenheit to Celsius. Celsius equals Fahrenheit minus 32 multiplied by 5 divided by 9. Celsius to Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit equals Celsius multiplied by 9 divided by 5 plus 32. Celsius to Kelvin. K equals degrees Celsius plus 273. Kelvin to Celsius. Degrees Celsius equal Kelvin minus 273. Types of thermometer. Clinical thermometer. It is used only for measuring human body temperature. It is also called doctor's thermometer. The normal body temperature is 36.9 degrees Celsius. Structure. 1. A clinical thermometer is almost the same as a laboratory thermometer, but it has a slight bend or kink in the capillary tube just above the bulb. It prevents the mercury from contracting and flowing back when it is removed from human body, temperature of surroundings being lower. This enables the recording of the maximum temperature of the body without need for haze. 2. It is smaller in size than the laboratory thermometer. 3. The mercury thread needs to be shaken back into the bulb before the thermometer is used again. Range. 1. Since it is used only to measure body temperature, the scale ranges between 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. 2. This range is centered on the normal body temperature of 36.9 degrees Celsius. 3. Short range enables the scale to be divided into smaller intervals for greater accuracy, 0.1 degrees Celsius. Care to be taken while reading a clinical thermometer. 1. Before using, wash the thermometer with an antiseptic solution using a cotton swab. 2. Give it a few jerks to lower the mercury level below 35 degrees Celsius. 3. Handle the thermometer with care. If it hits against some hard objects, it can break. 4. Do not hold the thermometer by the bulb while reading it. 5. Before using the clinical thermometer, we should ensure that the mercury level in its tube is below 35 degrees Celsius. 6. Note the temperature difference indicated between the two bigger marks. 7. Also note down the number of divisions shown by smaller marks between these marks. 8. Suppose the bigger marks read 1 degree and there are 5 divisions between them. 9. Then, one small division can read 1:5 or 1/5 equals 0.2 degrees Celsius. 10. Now, put thermometer under your tongue. After 1 minute, take the thermometer out and note the reading. 11. This is your body temperature. The temperature should always be stated with its unit, that is degrees Celsius. 12. The normal temperature of human body is 36.9 degrees Celsius, but it may vary slightly by a degree more or less for individuals. The mentioned normal temperature is an average normal body temperature. Laboratory thermometer. Laboratory thermometer is used for measuring the temperature in a science laboratory. A laboratory thermometer is made up of a long glass tube having a thin capillary in it. Structure. 1. The liquid is contained in a thin-walled glass bulb inside a glass tube. 2. The bulb is made relatively larger than its bore, that is the diameter of the tube, to contain more of the liquid. This makes the thermometer very effective. 3. The outer glass stem around the capillary tube is made thick. It acts as a magnifying glass. Sensitivity. Small expansion of the liquid in the liquid bulb will cause a big change in the length of the liquid thread in the capillary tube, as it is made narrow. The narrower the bore, the higher is the sensitivity. Range. The range is fixed by the freezing and boiling points of liquid. For mercury thermometer, 39 degrees Celsius to 357 degrees Celsius, and for alcohol in glass thermometer, minus 78 degrees Celsius to 115 degrees Celsius. In colder countries, most of its liquid in glass thermometers use alcohol and not mercury. The range can be increased by lengthening the bore. Digital thermometer. Mercury is toxic in nature. It is also harmful to the environment if it is not disposed of properly. For this reason, nowadays the use of mercury thermometers is being replaced by digital thermometers. A digital thermometer has a plastic body, is easy to use, and provides accurate readings in the form of a digital display. Minimum temperature. The maximum temperature of the day usually reaches in the afternoon, whereas the minimum temperature usually occurs in the early morning. In weather forecasting and other meteorological work, it is necessary to know the highest and lowest temperature. There is a special thermometer called maximum and minimum thermometer, which automatically records the maximum and minimum temperature of the day. Real Life Connect. Creative thinking. Measuring the body temperature of your friends with clinical thermometer. Measure the body temperature of your friends and record it. Is it exactly 36.9 degrees Celsius? Subject integration. Heat waves having multiple cascading social, ecological and economic implications is the immediate and long term. There are some ways that heat waves can negatively impact our world. Social impacts of heat are distributed across populations. Normal poor people are more often exposed to environment risks like heat. Due to excessive heat, there is a change in the weather patterns and resulting impacts on agriculture and other sectors. Skills and values. In this chapter, students must learn about different kinds of thermometer. This is a great way to contrast the similarities and differences between clinical and laboratory thermometers and how they work. Rapid review. 1. Heat is a form of energy. 2. Mercury is used in thermometers to measure temperature. 3. Temperature is a degree of hotness or coldness of a body or a place. 4. Temperature is measured by a device known as thermometer. 5. Thermometer works on the principle of thermal expansion. 6. Temperature is measured in many different scales, including Fahrenheit, Celsius or centigrade, and Kelvin scales. 7. Thermometers are of 3 types. 1. Clinical. 2. Laboratory. 3. Digital. 8. Heat is the transfer of energy from a substance at a higher temperature to a substance at a lower temperature. Key points. Heat, a form of energy which is responsible for the sensation of hotness and coldness. Temperature, the measure of degree of hotness or coldness of a body. Thermometers, a device which measures the temperature. Clinical thermometer, used for measuring human body temperature. Laboratory thermometer, used for measuring the temperature in a science laboratory.